Hey guys, and welcome back to the Interceptor here. We are here with another war video, and this is going to be Alliance War. Is this even full screen? I don't know if it is. That everything's just off a little bit. Let me make sure this is... Yeah, that's really weird. I don't know. It's not full screening. Anyways, whatever. This is War 5 of Season 25 and D69 matched up against SAS. So these guys are a very, very brutal alliance. They're definitely in the top 5 right now. I'd say they're definitely in the top 5. But we have a very annoying Quake war today. I think it's 5 fights with Quake. 6 fights with Quake. But I don't know, I didn't really like this war. It was kind of boring, and also it has my least favorite fight in it. By far the hardest fight to Quake on the map is Modok on 49. No one else is even close. It's just the hardest defender on the node, and it's the hardest node. I think in the current meta to Quake. Dragon Man on that node is different, but I wouldn't say he's harder just because using a special 1 boost makes it rather trivial. Or sorry, using invulnerability boost. But yeah, we're taking the team of Quake, Warlock, and White Magneto. So basically the same team as last war, except we are taking out Falcon and we're adding in Warlock. So we're boosting up really light for Section 1. We're using the 6-hour health boosts still. And this is a rank 3 6-star Dragon Man, which is bold, especially for just a defense rank up. And this is going to be on the Overload node, on the Unblockable Region node, Path 1, Section 1. And if you guys don't know, if you are holding Quake, if you're holding heavy with Quake, so the opponent has a concussion on them when the power game buff tried to come back, then it's gone for the rest. It's gone for the rest of the fight. So this guy's just never going to get the buff back. He's never going to gain power. We did parry at the start to remove it, and if you hold heavy to start, the opponent does not get the 2 buffs that come with the node, so you can actually safely charge heavy to start the fight and then parry immediately, and you will, it's completely safe. So yeah, this fight goes down in 1 minute, so this is not a particularly hard fight. I think this is pretty bad placement for Dragon Man. I think there are multiple other nodes. 25 and 49 are the 2 best nodes for Dragon Man, and I think this is kind of a waste of a rank 3 Dragon Man, but okay. Now we're going to go into this next fight, and this is by far the worst fight of the war. If there's a fight you guys want to skip, I really do not mind. This is a rank 2 Spiderham, and this node's masochism, I do not know why I did not Quake this. If I could go back and redo this war, I would 100% Quake this fight. This is a Quake fight. Why am I using Warlock? No idea. Ridiculously stupid choice. Because the way Warlock works is Warlock is going to reduce the chance for masochism to activate when you parry. So sometimes you're going to land the parry and you'll be able to heavy immediately. And sometimes, like right there, we put a debuff on the opponent, 2 in a row, nothing happened. And then right there, I threw an L2. I had no idea I had the Porky's Popper, whatever it's called, on me. I didn't see it. I was looking for it. I guess I just didn't look, or I missed it or something. But anyways, yeah, it really, really messes me up in this fight, because if it's not always activating, then you have to first land the parry. If it gets shrugged off, then you back up and you parry again. But how do you know it's going to get shrugged off? There's no way to know. So what you have to do is you can either react fast enough and go for a heavy after making sure that the parry stun's stuck, or you can just keep parrying until it gets removed. So we do lose a lot of health on Warlock there, which is just unfortunate. I think most of the health I think I lost 40% in that fight. I think 30% of it was just from throwing off special attack because of the power stings. But just a horrible, horrible fight. And I think I was in my head about the fact that when I quaked Spiderham in War 4, I did get clipped twice. I took 2 hits. So I think that was just bugging me a little bit. But this is a fight you guys are used to having me see, so I dropped the White Mags pre-fight, or used to seeing me having me see. Wow. And then right there, we dexed during when concussion was on, so I sped up the rest of the fight. I sped it up to 100%, so it's at double the speed. But it's a very simple fight. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't quake Spiderham. It probably would have been a 2-minute fight tops, and I'm pretty confident It's ridiculous. I don't know why I didn't do it. I don't have a reason. But anyways, yeah. Quaking this fight. I've now quaked this fight 4 out of 5 wars, and I have not taken a single hit any of the fights. The shock has never been an issue. I've only triggered it once in 4 fights. And yeah, there's just nothing hard about this power snack Doom anymore. I used to see this all the time, and I would take it with magic, and it would be a 3.5 to 4 minute fight every war. Now it's a 2-minute fight with Quake, so I'm very happy that I can do that consistently. But now we're going up to a rank 3 Apocalypse, and this is on Mixmaster. I'm taking this with Warlock, but I am applying the White Mags pre-fight. I do actually mess up once in this fight, and I get clipped for it. I think I get clipped twice in the fight. But one of the times is because I messed up Mixmaster. So I just completely forgot that, like, I don't know. I think I just missed an input on my screen, so I did 2 light attacks in a row. But yeah, the way you want to take this fight is going light, light, medium, and that's going to counter Mixmaster because the opponent can't evade while they're stunned. So you can always land 5 hits in your combo. And the strategy in this fight was to use Resonate to my advantage, but I haven't activated Resonate yet. It was at that point I had landed 30 hits. Maybe some of them right at the beginning triggered Resonate. Not while I had an infection though. So we went that whole time without him ever getting power drained. He gets power drained there once from my L3. And then we finally get Resonate to activate. I take off Willpower when I place my defense. It's a little expensive, but I don't mind because it usually helps. And actually this war, I got 2 kills on defense. One of my kills, they used a rank 3 Warlock against a rank 2 6-star Hulk Ragnarok and died. I don't understand how that is physically possible. I think there are literally 0 nodes, except for Rage, that Warlock cannot take him on. And he was on a diversity node. He was on the first node of Path 3, Section 1. Arguably, like, bottom 5 difficulty of nodes in the game. Probably bottom 5. And they died to a diversity champ with a Warlock. The guy, I swear, this guy must have taken at least 25 hits. There is no way, unless you tank an L2 to the face, that you die from a gulp. It does not happen. So this guy either completely forgot how to play the game and took 25 hits, or he ate a special 2 to the face. That's the options. But anyways, I kind of skipped over me messing up the second time. So what happened is I finished my combo, dashed back, and then he started walking towards me. So I walked up to him, trying to parry his light attack. He caught it before I could parry. He caught me before I could parry him. But yeah, now we're going up to a fight I don't love. But it's always interesting. This is a rank 3 6-star Domino on Spite, powerful from afar. You guys have seen me take this fight at least 10 times. Like, I take this fight a lot. It's always either me or it's always either Run or I that take this fight. And it's so easy. But anyways, this one does have willpower. I'm used to them not having willpower, just because it's so much harder and people understand, okay, the person who places Domino doesn't places without willpower. But apparently they did not get the memo. So right here, the evade ends, so I decide to go into an L2. The evade activates on the next time, but it doesn't matter. This is the only fight that I have suicides on for. So after I place my defense, I turn suicides on because I was grinding the Odin arena. And then for section 1, I turn them off. I turn them back on right as soon as I finish section 1 up and the minis. And I thought I would leave it on just for that Domino, just because it's my only Warlock fight. And last 4 fights of the war are all Quake fights. So you guys know me, I Quake without suicides. I do not like quaking with suicides. The only time I will Quake with suicides, I genuinely rather have a 5-minute fight without suicides than a 3-minute fight with suicides. Just because I don't like the interaction between suicides and boosting. I don't have a problem quaking with half suicides, but constantly losing so much health from the boosted poison damage, just, I hate it so much. But yeah, anyways, we're placing back our attack, and actually as soon as I cleared these fights, I went in and I put suicides back on and finished a round of arena. So I actually got a decent amount of points, especially with the boosts. But I didn't show I don't think I showed the boost too well. I boosted to the max. So I used the higher level of each of the tech boosts, and that was my only Warlock fight. I used 30% green boost, so attack and health. I used 15% attack, and I used 15% health. So I used a lot of big boosts. But anyways, this is a rank 3 Korg, and I did have an extra white mags pre-fight, so I decided to use it on Korg. It was either going to be on Korg or Kingpin, and I find Kingpin much easier to Quake. I don't know why. I think it's probably just because he's bigger, so his animations are generally more obvious. But I've Quaked Korg like so many times on the map. So I didn't think it really mattered. I just kind of made a decision, and this is the one I went for. Usually Korg fights are much longer to Quake, because I remember quaking Korg on 47, the next node I'm about to fight Kingpin on, and he took about 45 seconds longer to Quake than Kingpin on that node, so I just figured based on that it would probably be faster. So yeah, we did drop that there. And now this is a pretty long fight. I'm surprised I did not speed this one up. But, oh, looks like I did speed this one up. This gameplay seems to be in... Is this sped up? I honestly can't tell. No, actually I don't think it is. That's weird. I thought I sped these fights up, but apparently I did not. Anyways. Pretty simple fight against Korg on this node. There's not too much to say. This is the kinetic node with aspect of evolution, but this guy, it's not possible for him to gain power anyways when you're quaking him, so it's just a bad placement. Well, no, it's not actually a bad placement, because the point of this node is to force a Quake, but Domino on Spite, powerful from afar, although it can be quaked, I've seen it done before, and I would love to do it in the off season just for fun. What was I gonna say? Oh, I would love to do it. It's not a great idea, so it forces a Quake and a Warlock down that path, but since they left a mini-boss that was easily Quakeable, this Kingpin, it kind of defeats the purpose of putting Korg on the previous kinetic node. But anyways, this one is kinetic, powerful from afar. We're going to get our dexes in, and before even halfway into the first Quake cycle, this guy's already dead. Pretty much, he can't gain power. He's got 1/3 of a bar of power, and that's where he's going to stay this whole fight. He's just going to die with that amount of power. And yeah, the Quake cycles aren't doing a ton. They're doing about 8%, which is a lot more than Korg, by the way. But yeah, they're generally not doing a lot. I have seen people die. I think it was actually... No, it was Taters, because him and I talked in DMs after he posted the video. He died to this fight using Apocalypse. He actually had Quake on the team, so he could have Quaked this fight. And he actually, we talked about it afterwards. I said, hey, I saw you died to that Apocalypse on 47, or sorry, you died using Apocalypse on 47 to Kingpin. I just thought you should know, Quake is actually the best counter to that. Would you like to see a video? And then I linked in my video after he said yes. So hopefully we see a video of him quaking that fight sometime soon. I'd love to see it. But yeah, this is a joke of a placement. This is a quite a common placement for Kingpin, actually. I think the best node for Kingpin on the map is actually the node 25 Kinetic Footloose, but we just Quake that as well. It's really, really hard to find a place to Quake-proof Kingpin while also not ruining one of the hardest one of the easiest one of the hardest nodes on the map, because there's only a few you can't Quake him on. And if you think about all the options, you have like, I don't know, path 9 section 2. There's too many good defenders for that path, and he could be just absolutely destroyed by multiple champions. Oh, here we go. We finally speed up the fights, but I did get some help from Floatin' and from City with energy, so I'm going to be able to clear these nodes. This is a rank 3 6-star King Groot bold rank up, but he does have a lot of health, and this is the regen mini, the enhanced regen mini. I sped up this fight and the next fight, like I doubled the speed, just because they're long fights. But yeah, I feel like I was saying something. Oh yeah, about Kingpin, and then the only other two are brute force nodes, and then window of opportunity stun. Arguably there are some others, but not really. I'm sure Quake wouldn't time out to Kingpin on the intercept path, although don't quote me on that because she might. Anyways, yeah, I kind of need something to talk about to fill the space of this boring fight, but it's only a 2-minute fight, so it's not actually that bad. But now we are up to my least favorite fight in all of Alliance War. On the whole map, this is the hardest Quake fight, and this is the, like, it's so boring. I hate it so much. This is a rank 3 Modok. This is the stun immune hazard shift mini. You guys have seen me Quake this before. I Quaked it last season in one of the wars, but it did not take this long, and I do not know what the difference is, especially because in this one I was more boosted than I was in the last one. Maybe I ran suicides for that one. That could be the only logical explanation I can think of. But yeah, this guy's just not taking a lot of damage from aftershocks. He's losing about 4 to 5% every time, and that just means you're in store for a long fight. But quaking stun immune, never an issue. That's not the problem here. There's actually no difference between quaking Modok on stun immune and on not stun immune, because the only hard part about quaking Modok is when he decides to throw his heavy attack while you're in your corner. And you can evade it with the sequence of holding heavy right when he starts, and then a quick dex, and then hold heavy again, and you will fully evade the heavy attack, although I'm only 50-50 confident on it. But without that, there's really nothing to this fight. I don't even think one heavy attack would kill you. It'd have to get like full incinerate if it did. And then there, I took a few hits. This whole fight, the most important thing to worry about is not getting hit, or sorry, it's not the most important thing in the fight to worry about not getting hit. The most important thing in this fight is always being ready to charge Dex charge when he throws his heavy. So the whole fight, I was staring directly at Modok, waiting for him to charge the heavy for the entire 3 minutes. That's all I did. I did not watch Quake. I just stared at Modok, waiting for him to charge a heavy, preparing, and it did distract me a little bit, so I did get hit, but that's all right. And we actually lost this war. So they had a really, really bad start to the war. In the first 70 fights, they died 6 times, which is just really, really odd. Did the video stop? No, it was loading. And we sucked as well. We got to that point around 70 attacker kills, and we had died more than them. So don't know what was up with them. No, actually, I think it was 5 or 6. So I think we were either winning or tied, but it's irrelevant. I'm going to pause it right here. But over the course of this war, it just did not get better for us. When I took my fights, it was around 10 hours into war. My last fights, like that Modok, Domino through Modok, I took them all at the same time. And we were winning by a very large margin when I took those fights. When I went to bed, in fact, the score was 11-5. We were winning by 6 attack bonus. So I go to sleep. I'm like, my boys got it. D69 are not going to throw this war. And then while I was asleep, they decided they were going to throw the war. And I woke up with SAS having cleared about 40 fights. Us cleared about 40. Except they died 0 times. And we were up to 13 deaths. We died 8 times while I was asleep. So I just had no words. I woke up and I'm like, what the fuck happened to Alliance War? Like, seriously. Turns out one guy, I don't know if he's in BG2 or BG3. I'm not too familiar with those, like the specifics of who's in where. But he died 3 times between 2 fights. So he died twice to one fight and once to another. So just a really, really off war for him. And then in my battle group, we had 5 deaths, which is by like more than double what we've had in like the last 10 wars. I think the highest we've had in the last 10 wars is 3. And that was 1 time. And then the rest, it's either been 2, 1, or 0 like we had last war. But just going from a spot where as an alliance in War 4, D69 died 2 times. 2 times in 150 fights. The fact that we can go from dying 2 times to 17, I don't know. I was just really, really pissed off. I played amazing. Other than the Warlock fights, if you ignore the Warlock fights, you just talk about the Quake fights, I had a pretty hard war. I quaked a lot of rank 3s. In fact, everyone I quaked was rank 3. So that goes Dragon Man. Should have been Spiderham, who was a rank 2, but I didn't quake him. So Dragon Man, Doom, Korg, Kingpin, King Groot, that's 5, and then Modok is 6. So I quaked 6 rank 3s, but I don't know. We just had an off war. We're going to get back into it. We're settled in Platinum 1, rank 23 currently. If we win 3 more wars, we will be back in Masters, which is obviously what we want. But it would take, it's going to take a lot for us to get there. So that is going to leave us, I know I just rambled on about like 3 or 4 minutes after the video was done. But I just had a lot to say. This was a really, really upsetting war for me. I don't really know what else to say, but yeah, anyways, we are 1-4 on the season with that loss. Death total still 0. I'm having a great season. And our PSR this season, since we only had 9 fights this war, kind of a lame war, is 50 out of 50. So we're staying on pace for that 10 fights a war thing. Which isn't really a real goal. It just worked out that way. We're perfectly at 50 out of 50, 5 wars in. And our Deathless streak is at 78. So it looks like we're either 2 or 3 wars away. If I get good wars, 2 wars away from that 100, but probably 3 wars away. Anyways, that's going to be it. I know I wasted so much of your time talking about absolutely nothing except me being pissed off in this video. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.